So now we're going to start labeling information. Remember, now you can't see that MLP before we had the CLP. It's because, if you remember, is I need to edit and I need to make my label visible. Apply and OK. So if you're anticipating being able to see a label, it's probably because it's not turned on in its point style. All right. The other thing is notice that you'll have text. There's a mask here. So some of this you'll actually have to send the display order and send it to the back. Okay. Now, I've got my trees labeled. I've got my, so like I can't see the word pine, so I might drag this out so you can see it a little bit better. There's another one. Sometimes when you have pine trees, or not pine trees, just trees in general, you'll actually have the size of them associated with it, but we didn't pick up the size of the trees. We should have, but we didn't. Now we're going to need to label the catch basin on this. So that can be just regular text. We should label the signage. We should label the building. Let's take a look at our 11 by 17 sheet. The other thing we'll need to do is once you get out here, go up to the layout tools and click on your north arrow. Go ahead and pick a north arrow style that you want. So it was originally, this was the north arrow style, and then now I'm going to pick the viewport. What it does is it asks me to pick a location. I'm going to pick one right here. It puts in, if I zoom in here, it puts in a north arrow. So that's the true north arrow based on that view. So I'm going to scale that up by 10 times and see how it looks. Now it's on the wrong layer, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to, I don't want to put it on the 0 layer. Let me see what we've got. I want to put it on a title block layer if I have one. If I don't, then that's okay too. I can make one. I'm just going to create a layer. Or I can click on MA for match properties, select that, and put it on that layer. So now it's on the title block layer. Wrong scale, so I'm going to scale it up to 50 and 50. That should have scaled. Let me type regen. All right, so that's the north arrow. The scale bar itself is true, so I'm just going to move this over here to make it look better. And sometimes we keep our scale bars and our north arrows in the same location. So maybe I'll actually change that down to 45 and 45. And the only reason I did that is, and I'm going to type in regen, is to get it to be about the same size as my scale bar. I'm going to move that over. Okay, so I've got my contours. Let me get this over so I can see it. I've got my contours, I've got my trees. Now I'm actually going to pull these labels. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to double click on the label, and I'm going to pull it out so it'll say oak. I can do the same thing here, but sometimes it's better to actually go through the viewport because then you can actually see where you're placing them. Sometimes when you place them, they don't show in the exact same place as what you anticipate. Now, before I go and start doing all of these, I also want to check, oops, undo that. I gripped the wrong place. Grab that one. Well, there we go. I'm going to see how this plots out. So I'm going to go print, continue with the single plot. Now at school you should have this FDOT, PDF, the VC 11 by 17, full bleed. All of that should already be set up if you're at school. If you're not at school, when you go to print this out, it's going to look a bit different. So I'm going to do preview, see how that looks. So the text size isn't bad for this. So I don't want it much larger than this, maybe a little bit. If it was more of a clustered drawing, then I would want definitely more. So I'm going to actually make the text bigger. I'm going to escape out of that. And I'll show you how to do that too. So if I wanted all of these labels bigger, and it's going to be a bit of a job, you're going to change it to 0.075, the dragged state. Right now it's 0.05. And there's no way to globally do this. You have to do it individually. Apply and OK and OK. So now they're much bigger, and when I go and look here, it looks a bit better. Now, you don't have to do them individually, thank goodness, but you do have to do the majority of them. So in my descriptions on the labels, you can come in here and you can go edit. And I'm going to change that to 0.075. And in the layout, 0.075. Apply and OK and OK. You can also do it through the settings. Click that, go to label styles. I'm going to pull this out a little bit. So I don't have elevation and descriptions. I have these, the point elevation description. So I can go edit, text height 0.075, dragged state 0.075. Apply and OK. So I can start pulling these out. Now, the other thing is my text here I can also edit, and that's based on the label. It's easier to go through here than this whole setting groups, because if I went through the setting groups, I'd have to go to surface, label styles, contours, and then I'm looking at existing and minor. If you don't know what you're looking for when you first do this, you won't know where to look, so it's easier to go through your properties to edit your objects. So I can go, all right, I'm going to change that to a layout state of 0.075, apply and OK, and the minor contours. So if you see me change this, take a look at these. Edit 0.075. Typically you never drag out a contour label typically, but I'm going to go ahead and change it, apply and OK. So you can see that they got bigger. All right, so now I'm starting to drag out all the labels. Again, make sure that your contours are displayed send to the back so you're not having other text overlap it. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is, I'm going to go to model space for this, is underneath the surface, underneath the prospector, underneath surface, I'm going to go ahead and update this, rebuild. You can actually look at your properties, so surface properties. When you do this, you can have operations and you can edit those, and what I'm looking at is if it's smooth or not. And let me see if I can find it. And that's not it. Smooth surface. So yeah, it's already smoothed out. Sometimes these won't have a smooth surface and it makes it a little bit more jagged. So all that's fine. I was actually looking to see if I could get it to be a little bit more of a smooth and not so, like right here, it tends to, we should have collected more data. So there's a low spot through here. All right, so I'm going to finish this up. Okay, now I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to clean mine up so you're not just watching me click on data, and then I'll come back to the next part. All right, so now I've got my labels all orientated. I noticed over here my water valves. I rotated those before, but I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to click on the object and I'm going to rotate the marker so I can read it. So I'm just going to put it like this. Rotate marker. Oops, rotated it the wrong way. There we go. Now, I forgot to do these. The next thing I want to do is I actually want to start labeling the sidewalk and parking lot, building. I need to label this properly, the storm inlet. I'm going to take this data here and I'm going to turn it into, I'm going to go no show. I'm going to do the same thing. I've already got it shown once, so I don't really need it multiple times. So no show. And I'll leave it out like that. Now, the next thing that I want to do is, and it's just text. On this one, I don't want that to say that. I'm just going to say description only. All right, so I'm going to do everything through here when I start doing the text to make it look nice. So I'm going to go to the home and I'm going to type in mtext. And I want to make sure I'm through the viewport. So I can do it through here. Might be easier. Mtext. So pick a corner. And then I can always adjust it. So I can write sidewalk. Now I should go ahead and be on the proper layer and have it set up. So I need to actually check my text. So I don't like that. I'm going to change it to bold. And I'm going to change to 0.075. I'm going to try that first. Set current and close. So I'm going to, nope, that's not the right size. So we'll go multi-line text. I don't think that's the right height. That's definitely, I'm going to do 2.3. I don't know what I was thinking before. So I'm going to do 2.3. Apply. Depending on what size scale you're printing out is what you're going to end up picking. So this might be a couple of go-throughs. Text. So sidewalk. Let's see how that compares to this, the size. Nope. So I'm going to change that again. You can also get an idea of what it needs to be. If I put in 4.5. So I'm going to do 4. That's the size that now you could do it this way, but I don't want to have to do that every time. So I'm going to go 4. Set current. Now, if you're working for a company, they're going to decide what they want and how they want it to look. I'm just showing you the different options here. Now, if you put something on the wrong layer, usually you can type in MA for match, select the layer that you want it on, and pick it. So now it should say, oops, I put that hatch on the wrong place. So I'm going to go MA. Here's my sidewalk layer. I'm going to put it on the hatch on the right layer. So SUR, sidewalk. Why won't that allow me to switch? So I'm just going to go SUR. Serves. Now I should be able to match MA. Pick that one. Put it on that one. There we go. So I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to pick this point And I'm just going to rotate it like that. Move. You can also have a text mask on this. So background mask, use the color of the background and OK. You can also change how the offset border. So I'm going to do 1.1 and notice that it only has a little bit above and below. I'll move that. So I can copy this. I'm big on copying. Once I find something that I like, I do a lot of copy. And then I double click. You can do it this way and write building number 11, MA for match. So it should be building. Copy. I'll put this out here too, and I'll write, you can double click and do parking lot. And I can't remember what parking lot letter it is. Copy that. Bring it over here. I can also copy this, and I can leave the sidewalk on that. But I'm going to go match, and I'm going to put that on the edge of pavement. I'm going to double click that, and I'm going to call this Valencia College Road. Okay, and I'm going to go to 11 by 17, see how that looks. Now, I may end up having to make some of that text bigger, I'm not sure. The other thing that I want to do is create a leader line. Now here's the other thing, I can actually rotate this marker so the D shows up like that if I want. I'm going to create a leader line, pick the point, pull it out, and I'm going to write catch basin. Now, it is got everything wrong with it. There's no, it needs to be rotated. It needs to have, and sometimes when you're doing just a few labels, it's easier just to draw the arrow and be done with it. But let's take a look at the model space. This is why it looks fine. It looks fine in here, but it doesn't look fine in the paper space. Sometimes your annotative, see how it says annotative and says no? If I say yes, it'll the scale should be affected, but the rotation is off. And off the top of my head right now, I can't remember my styles. So I want to change that. I'm seeing in here if there's anything specific that I can change to get it to rotate. Line spacing, horizontal attachment, under the lip, text frame, no. I don't like the size of that anyway, so I'm going to do 4. Okay, take a look at how big that is. And that partly is a reason of the 0.075. Sometimes when it's text, it takes on one size, and when it's an object, it'll take on another. Apparently, I forgot to do a few of these. I thought I got them all. Okay. Now, you can also make the leader arrow. So that's going to be 0.075. Use your arrow size is the same as your leader size. Miscellaneous, standard. All right. Once I get that set, I'm going to end up having just to explode it at this point in time because I can't remember for the life of me at this right now how to get that orientated for when it's in that view. It looks fine in model space, but in paper space, since I've got a twisted view, it is not working, and I don't have a specific label. So I'm going to explode that for right now. This is not the best way, but we're not. So when I come back here, I can actually rotate this. So see, it has angle rotation. The other nice thing that I could do is I could match these properties, but that's still not. So rotate. So I'm going to do 170. Move this over. And I'm just going to use this line and go like that. Actually, I have OCD, so it's I'm going to pick endpoint. Oops. Endpoint, P line, endpoint, and just draw this out, F8, turn my O snaps back off. See, notice when I go F8, it's because I got my snap-ang. If you type in S-N-A-P-A-N-G, snap-ang, I want it to be 0. P line, point. When I did snap-ang, it did not hold. Lock, no. Ugh, undo. Snap-ang means snap angle, and it should rotate the view. I can't remember what I told it to twist as, 80. So if I go snap-ang 80, I wonder if it'll give me, there we go. Set your snap angle to whatever you rotated the view as. So I come in here and I go P line, endpoint, and then I move this. Now, make sure when you're jumping in and out of your space, I need to click that back to paper space, and I need to lock that back. Yes. If you don't, then sometimes you'll get pushed, it'll fall into a vicious loop of where this won't let you zoom out, and you'll be stuck on the inside until you click on paper versus model. Okay, so that's where we're at now. Go ahead and change the name of your project, and you can go, oops. I think I need to change the block editor. And close that. Discard changes. So this is a little different than some of the earlier versions. I need to change some of this types of survey. So I'm going to click these 3 dots, and I'm going to change that, and I'm going to write topographic survey, enter, and I'm going to say it's Valencia College. And I don't know the section, township, and range, but I should, so we'll have to look that up later. Okay, and I'm going to leave this as the same, and project number, we can just call it 12-345. You can give it whoever your party chief was on this one, you could say your initials. The date is 2-14-16. Approved by, you can say my initials. Drafter would be your initials. Date drawn. Today is 2-15-16. The scale is 50. The requester, I'll leave that as the City of Orlando. There is one sheet of one sheet. We could do 2 of 2, but we're just going to leave it at 1 of 1, and then okay. And now all of this is filled out. All right. Now we can fix up our block, our legend, but I'm going to leave it like it is for right now because we're using most of them. I should come in and adjust some of these and change the styles. Like instead of a gas meter, we don't have any gas meters, so we could change that reference to a water meter. So if I come in here and go insert, you have all these different types of blocks that you can create. For example, there should be a water meter here, and okay, and I can just come in here, put that, get rid of that one, insert, and nearest, and I could change that, and I could say water. Okay, so come in here and we can adjust the water meters, the gas valves also. So you can't, I don't believe you can just, no, you can't pick a different block and just replace it. You'll have to do them individually. So I suggest we get rid of the ones that we don't need. For example, the air conditioning unit, we don't have any air conditioning units. So we'll delete that one. We have a benchmark. We don't have any electric boxes. So we'll have, for example, we do have a fire hydrant. Oops, we don't have a cable. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. Also, those are way too big now. This is your line type scales being adjusted here. So line type scale, we're just going to do 1. Actually, we're going to do more than 1. We're going to do 0.05. 0.5. 0.25. We'll need to adjust these. We don't have a bottom bank or top of bank. We could if I decided to connect all those dots, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. We should connect, actually we should connect toe a slope. Let's take a look at that, and then I'll think about how we want to do the cover, and I might do just a video straight on how to fix the cover to show you that. So I don't want to be mumbling over what to do over here. So let's take a look at I want to take a look at one more thing. Update that. Update that. I want to create a new property. No, I don't. There it is. I'm going to take this toe slope and go to properties and send toe of slope to the top. And I'm going to send top of bank to the top. Apply and OK. Now, what I can do is create a line. I go P line. And I want to put it, I'm going to put it on the catch basin because it's a storm. It's not a storm structure, but it is storm, and I don't think I have a layer for storm. I should, but I don't think I do. since I don't, I'm going to put it on miscellaneous. Oh, the other thing I forgot was the wall. So I'm going to do V miscellaneous first. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do P line. And I'm going to do F3, toe slope, 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 and that one's got top of bank. Now, the toe slope, I have to look at this. Top of bank, there's toe slope. Now, the toe slope actually had, let me look at my layer properties. On this one, I'm going to change that line type to bottom. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to use this. I'm going to load this. Typically what we use when we do low places, we use a long dash and then 3 dots. So a long dash and 3 dots. Okay. So that's what this one should be. Long dash, 3 dots. Now the top of bank, we should have, I'm going to do top of bank. Is that on the wrong one? Yep, that's fine. So I'm going to go top of bank, set that current. So I'm going to go P line. Ooh, I should have connected toe slope through here. Well, let me finish the toe slope and I'll change the layer. Toe slope, toe slope, toe slope, toe slope, toe slope, toe slope, toe slope. And then MA for match. This one to that one. And then top of bank, since I'm already on that layer. Top of bank, 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 top of bank. I'm not going to use these toe slopes because they're more at the edge of the sidewalk, so I'm not going to do those. Top of bank, 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 and close that back. So the top of bank, and I don't know if I'll use this line type, it actually had a TOB on it, load and OK. Oops, I don't mean to hit load, and just hit OK. Close that out. Now, the reason it's tiny like that is because of the LTS scale, but I don't know if I'll like that or not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in and I'm go to properties and I'm going to send the this down to the bottom. Oops, all the way down and all the way down. Apply and OK. Let's take a look at what it looks like here. Okay, yeah, that's way too big. That TB is way too big. The reason that is too big is if I type in my LTS scale and I go 0.5, I don't like that. So I'm going to go LTS, I'm going to leave that at 1. I may have to change it just for the sheer fact that I can't see that. But I'm going to come back in here and change on my layer manager. Oops, cancel. I'm just going to do a continuous line. Okay. I could label that also as top of bank if I wanted, or not use it at all. So I don't think when, even though I've shown y'all how to do it, I'm not going to label that. I'm not going to label that. I'm just going to delete that back out. I don't need it, but I do need to be able to see this line type to show up better. So LTS 0.5. There we go. Actually, I'm going to change that back. LTS 1. 1's not enough, so I'll actually have to do 0.5. Still not enough. So LTS 0.25. That's too much. It jumps from having a continuous line to a non-continuous line. And the reason typically we wouldn't do this, we'd leave it as 1. But because of this line type being odd, and I could also change it. I could change it this way. Let's do it this way. Leave that as 1 and change it. I don't like changing it this way. It doesn't, it's not very good drafting standards. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as 0.1. And since it's a polyline, I'm actually going to thicken that up to a 1. And I'm just going to type in MA, and I'm going to match that. Okay, now, trying to think what else do I need to do. I'm still not happy with that. It just is not how I want it. I'll end up having to draw it specifically for what I want, but I'm going to leave it at this point in time. I'm just going to leave it. Now, if I decide, or if I figure out a better method to do it, I'll show you all in class. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I'm going to figure out how I want to do the legend, and then I'll create a video for that.